Have you ever won a contest? Cause I sure haven't. That glimmer of hope you have when you enter a contest, a dream of winning just to see somebody else take the prize. But what if you actually win? What if you are the person who got to the end, made it on top, and came out victorious? And then, nothing. No prize, no winnings, no glory. Surprisingly, this happens a lot in the world of video games. So let's take a look at some of the biggest failures of video game contests and sweepstakes throughout the years.
They did the Monster Mash.
In 2015, Call of Duty held a contest with the prize of becoming a zombie in the upcoming video game Black Ops 3. Contestants could enter by donating $10 or more through Omaze, a fundraising platform for the Call of Duty Endowment Foundation that helps military veterans. The winner would get an exclusive tour of the studio, lunch with the team, get their name in the game, maybe even give Jason Blundell a kiss on the cheek, and most importantly, have your likeness zombified as an actual 3D model in a future DLC zombie map. On the 18th of September 2015, the winner was announced as Richard Rodriguez. So, where can we see Richard as a zombie? A lot of people seem to be under the impression that instead of getting to become a zombie, they settled for him being this guy. A man that gets killed in the opening cutscene of the map Shadows of Evil. But if we look at the timeline, that would have simply been impossible. According to the Omaze website, he had the experience where he visited the Call of Duty headquarters on the 3rd of November 2015. The intro cutscene of Shadows of Evil featuring this man was uploaded on October 12th, 2015 on YouTube, 22 days before Richard's experience. So unless Treyarch managed to reverse time, as far as we know, he never got to become a zombie. He did visit the team, probably had lunch with them, and he did get his name in the map Gorod Krovi, which released almost 8 months after his visit.
'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off!
The year is 1982. Atari holds one of, if not the biggest contests of all time. Swordquest, a series of 4 games based around the elements, all adventure games that led the player through mazes, with strange puzzles that gave hints and clues for where to look in a comic book that came with the game. The numbers corresponded to pages and panels in the comics, revealing words that created a sentence. Send the correct sentence back to Atari, compete against the others who also got it right, and you could win a very big prize. So, what's the prize? Well, nothing short of a literal treasure. There was a talisman for Earthworld, a chalice for Fireworld, Waterworld had a crown, and Airworld had the Philosopher's Stone, all made of real gold and covered in diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. Every prize was valued at $25,000 at the time, and with inflation, that's almost $80,000 today. But it gets even crazier. The 4 winners of the contest would compete against each other in a final championship for the Sword of Ultimate Sorcery, a silver blade with an 18-karat golden handle covered with diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, and rubies. At the time valued at $50,000, which converted to today would have been $150,000. And surprisingly, people actually won these prizes. Stephen Bell was the winner of the talisman, and Michael Rideout won the chalice. And the crown was won by... Wait, what's that in the distance? I think it's coming closer. Oh right, the 1983 video game crash. Add an insider trading scandal to that by former CEO Ray Kazar, and Swordquest was basically cancelled. Now, Atari says that they actually held the contest for Waterworld in private, and that the prize was eventually given out. However, none of this has been confirmed, and Airworld quite literally evaporated into thin air, with the game never releasing. The Philosopher's Stone and the sword simply disappeared, with no winner ever being announced. We still don't know, to this day, what happened with these treasures. But it is rumored that the founder of Atari, Jack Tramiel, might have known a bit more, since some people who worked at Atari have claimed that they saw the sword mounted on his home mantle. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2012.
Sonic Skateboard!
I was lucky enough to grow up with Fox Kids, an amazing channel that always had a certain magical feeling about it. And if you were a child in 1996, you may have seen this commercial.
Got the perfect idea for a video game? Then enter the Fox Kids create a SEGA video game sweepstakes. We're going to send the grand prize winner to San Francisco to hang at SEGA headquarters and help crank out a brand new SEGA video game.
Fox Kids create a SEGA video game contest was something special. A unique opportunity for a special fan to not only visit SEGA headquarters in America, win a SEGA Saturn, Genesis, Nomad and 30 games, but actually be involved in the creation of an upcoming video game. And naturally, we come to the question, who won? Well, this is where things get a bit fuzzy. For years, the search for the winner has been a big subject on lost media forums and anyone who is interested in these kinds of hunts. YouTube videos were made, forums were forumed, and the search slowly came to a stop. That was until someone found this picture on the website Kids Block Blog, a small cropped image that tells us who actually won. John Bishop was one happy kid when he won the Fox Kids SEGA Create a Video Game sweepstakes. John flew to SEGA headquarters in San Francisco and got to help SEGA's design team create a brand new video game. He also won a full SEGA video game package. Way cool! The full page was eventually found, thanks to the Internet Archive, in the Totally Kids magazine made by Fox Kids, where we can finally see the man, the myth, the legend, John Bishop. But what about the game? Well, we don't know. They never announced which game he would have helped with, and the chances of him helping seem highly unlikely. SEGA of America didn't make any games of their own in this time period, so this SEGA design team in San Francisco just seems like a bit of a stretch. The only real lead we have is the fact that the contest mentioned that the winner would be credited in the manual, so the hunt is still on. In 1997, there was an ad in a lot of gaming magazines for the ultimate gaming rig. A full-screen TV, gigantic speakers, the most complex audio system to play the Backstreet Boys, a PC, a Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, PlayStation 1, and much, much more. All of this could be yours. And this wasn't any luck-based contest, but an actual competition of skill and intellect. Simply fill in the mystery word grid, complete a few more rounds, and you could have the ultimate gaming rig in your home. Or so we thought. If you look at the ads, it is kind of suspicious that every single one of them advertises a different set of consoles and equipment. But maybe it simply meant that you would have won them all, right? Let's try one. Okay, a 5-letter word. World rulers have it, and in this contest, you have it. I have no idea. Obviously, the puzzles would get harder, and this was just the easy one to get you started. So people competed, but a winner was never announced. That is, until 8 years later, in 2005, when the user The Successful Dropout revealed in a thread about this contest that the puzzles were time sensitive and that they sent the last puzzles after the deadline. I guess you could say the ultimate gaming rig was rigged.
Nice!
Alright, a few honorable mentions have to be pointed out here. These are not scams or failed in the same way as the others, but are simply very, very strange. For the game Turok Evolution, the game studio Acclaim had a very interesting promotion. If your baby is born on or around September 1st, 2002, and you name it Turok, you'll receive $10,000. Yes, this was actually real. It is hard to tell if someone actually did this, but since the rules stated that it only had to be for 1 year, someone was definitely crazy enough to do it. And this isn't the first time this has happened, since Bethesda did the same thing for Skyrim. Name your child born on November 11th, 2011 Dovahkiin and receive every Bethesda game from the past, present and future for the rest of your life. I really hope it was worth it for them to play Fallout 76. And if you thought things couldn't get weirder than that, then let me introduce you to this. Jimmy Fallon, TV funny man who laughs a lot. For the game Dark Void Zero, a DSiWare title, they made up a fictional story where Jimmy Fallon won a Capcom contest in his younger years for a cameo in this game. The problem is, this game came out in 2010, and Jimmy was already hosting the late night show, not a young gamer. Jimmy Fallon agreed to lend his name to this game, and have this entire fictional backstory for no apparent reason. Acclaim, the same company behind the Turok babies, offered to buy advertising space on Tombstones to promote Shadowman 2. The company eventually said it was an early April Fool's joke, although this was most likely an excuse because of the backlash it received. Peter Molyneux created the game Curiosity, What's Inside the Cube, in 2012. The goal of the game was simple: a giant cube made out of billions of smaller cubes, with the goal of it being an online social experiment. The player's life, who would break the last cube, would be changed. Quote, "What is inside the cube is life-changingly amazing by any definition." Now, in case you're not aware, Peter Molyneux is quite infamous in the gaming world, and mostly regarded as a man who makes a lot of promises that he can't or simply won't keep, and has even been described as a pathological liar. Do you remember this famous demonstration of the Kinect, where a woman is interacting with an AI child? Well, it was all fake, and she was simply following a script. And for most demos, that would have been completely acceptable. Except for the fact that it was presented as something that was not only possible, but actually happened. And who presented these claims? That's right, Peter Molyneux. Funny enough, he even started his whole career on a lie. After failing as a game developer when his first game, The Entrepreneur, flopped, he started Taurus, a company that exported baked beans. That's right, beans. And it probably would have been the end of it, if it wasn't for the fact that Commodore, a computer company, accidentally mistook Taurus for the software company Taurus. And when they offered him 10 computers for free, he simply lied.
I can still remember it vividly. Going through my head, there was like an angel and a devil on my shoulders, and one saying, "Go on, you've just got to tell the truth. You know, you can't lie like this." And then this other voice saying, "Just lie. Just lie, get the machines, go to the stand space and just sort it out afterwards." Of course, I ended up lying.
This lie and fake it till you make it mentality has surprisingly gotten Peter pretty far, eventually becoming the creative director of Microsoft Studios Europe.
Polishing those to the highest possible level we can. And the first feature I spoke about was how come the screen's gone black.
A few years go by and he quits to start his own company, 22 Cans. With over 3 million people breaking blocks, on the 26th of May 2013, the final block was broken. There was bound to be a big reward at the end, and boy was it big.
Welcome to the end of Curiosity. We are making a game called Goddess. The whole game is about being a god to your followers. You, the person who would reach the center, will be the god of all people that are playing Goddess. And here's the life-changing bit. Every time people spend money, you will get a small piece of that pie.
This is what the winner, Brian Henderson, saw when he finally broke the last block. Not only would Brian become a god in the upcoming game by 22 Cans, Goddess, but he would also receive a small portion of the profits, 1% to be exact. And with it being described as life-changing, Brian's life would indeed be changed for the better. Right? Well, sadly, no. After all the excitement settled down, Brian was never contacted again by 22 Cans. The game was released, but Brian never got to play as a god or received any of the promised profits. Peter Molyneux blames this in an interview with The Guardian on the person who was in charge of this contact leaving the company and nobody taking the responsibility. Just another unfulfilled promise by Peter Molyneux to put in the vault.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, then please subscribe and leave a like. It really helps out a lot. I have a couple of special videos planned for the future, so be sure to look out for those. They are taking a bit longer, but I think it is gonna be worth it. So, thank you again, and bye-bye.